Hi everyone, welcome back to the Bravo Confidential. Today we're going to be talking about the season premiere of the Real Housewives of Potomac. I absolutely adore these ladies and I'm so excited for this new season. Today I'm going to keep it simple and provide some of my opinions on why Karen is setting herself up to not take accountability for her recent DUI. We all know that when a housewife gets into legal trouble, it makes it really hard for the rest of the cast to navigate the situation, and drama always ensues. The Grande Dame, Karen Huger's recent DUI is in the forefront of this season, and I'm glad I'm making this video now because I want to see if she's able to take accountability for her mistakes rather than using it to pad out her plotline. And while this may seem like shade, Karen has an opportunity to really redeem herself this season. Much like Shannon Bedore, Karen Huger has made a dangerous mistake, and I feel like we can draw some similarities between the two women and their journeys as it plays out in front of us. If you're interested in a more in-depth video of the similarities between Shannon and Karen, let me know in the comments below. So our season begins with a dramatization of Karen Huger's car accident. Now, I won't go too deep into the incident and the charges against her, but I will say that it looked like a really scary wreck, and I'm so glad that she's okay. In the first episode segment with Giselle, Karen is tight-lipped about the situation. However, Karen acknowledges the server at the diner with a high five whenever they announce Karen's innocence to Giselle in the cameras. Of course, shady Giselle alluded that the server was put up to the task to declare Karen's innocence, but honestly, it seems like Karen and the server have an established relationship since she's a regular at the diner, and I thought the addition of the donut was really cute. Moving on to Karen standing within the friend group, during the beginning of the episode, we were able to see the various reactions to Karen's DUI from the other ladies. In their confessionals, we see that Ashley was concerned, Giselle was shocked, and Mia was harsh in her criticism of Karen. When it comes to drinking and driving, there's absolutely no excuse, and I'm pretty sure that that's what both production and the cast members will promote throughout the season. However, we've seen many different housewives over the years get into trouble with the law and then handle it quite poorly. Okay, well, maybe Erica's situation is a little bit more extreme, but when it comes to Karen Huger, I just feel like there's no real accountability or acknowledgement of the consequences of our actions. And I get it's a legal matter and you can't talk about it, but I also think that when you're a public figure, just like the Grande Dame, you should own it. One of the reasons I don't think Karen is taking accountability for her mistakes is her reaction to those who bring up the drinking. If you know anything about the Real Housewives, you know that these ladies are surrounded by alcohol at literally any event that they go to. I mean, if you really think about it, the entire show is just a bunch of people going over to parties, going over to each other's houses, drinking, and talking trash about each other over and over again. There is nothing but food, alcohol, and sometimes weed surrounding these ladies at all times. On a side note, I think that the legalization of marijuana and the introduction of talking about it on camera, particularly in the OC, is really interesting, and I would love to make a video about it in the future, but of course, let me know in the comments if that's something that you're interested in later on. Going back to Potomac, one reason I feel like Karen Huger is not taking accountability is because Karen knew about Stacy's separation. She mentioned the ring to Vivian and then had to bring it up when Stacy walked out of the dressing room. In my opinion, she was using this fact to deflect from her situation first. Okay, I may have a DUI, but you're separated. And while I'm sure Karen wasn't doing it to be nasty, I do have the feeling that she's being rather defensive about the situation, and I fear that this is the stance that she'll be taking throughout the season. There's so many opportunities in these women's lives on and off camera where alcohol is around them, such as Vivian's boutique where we see them pop a bottle of champs. Even if the cameras weren't there, I can imagine a scenario in which Vivian and Stacy would ask Karen if they were okay to drink in her presence. In my opinion, I think it was a good opportunity to check on boundaries, especially when someone has experienced something so life-changing. But what worries me is the tone in Karen's voice when she replied to Stacy and Vivian, asking them why it would be a problem if they drank in her presence. Karen, this was a softball question, and it was an opportunity for you to address your feelings about it in front of the cameras and get ahead of it. Karen knew that she was going to have to answer this question repeatedly throughout the season, so why would you start off defensive? But we're not just starting off defensive. We are now setting a precedent. Not about a staunch stance on why drinking and driving is wrong. No, we're not acknowledging that. In fact, we're bypassing that completely and saying everyone else should tread carefully regarding how they treat Karen, insinuating that everyone else be careful about how they proceed in regards to speaking about Karen's DUI. She wants to see who the real soldiers for Karen are. Now, this isn't a Karen gang up. If I were to give her the benefit of the doubt, I at least appreciate her opening up the floor for questions to the group of ladies and then addressing the elephant in the room. But I strongly feel like this is not a good way to start things off. Do I think that Karen is going to own up by the end of the season? It really is too soon to tell. I honestly hope that we can get to the core of these issues Karen is facing and see some vulnerability. I want to see what's going on. I want her to own it. I wanted to get this video out before episode 2 airs. I'm going to keep it short. I also didn't want to get too much in the weeds about the other ladies, especially since Ashley and Wendy aren't really giving us much of anything. And Mia's situation is just too messy for me to even want to cover it, at least for right now. In the meantime, I'd love to know your opinion. Do you think Karen will take accountability, or is she going to play defense all season and just skirt the issue? Please let me know in the comments. As you know, this is the second episode of the Bravo Confidential, and I think I'm starting to hit my stride. I really appreciate you watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more Bravo Confidential, and I'll see you then.